90 degrees. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and the Cardinals, Game 3 of the series at Busch Stadium on this Sunday afternoon. And hello again, everybody. Jay Randolph along with Rick Horton. It's good to have you with us. Rick, if the Cardinals get a victory today, they'll finish this homestand 5-2. That's a plus.
There's been some pluses and some minuses, as there always are as you look at a homestand. Matt Holliday had a great day here yesterday, showing a little power, Jay. Felipe Lopez, nice to have him back on this Cardinal bench here this afternoon. Brad Penny's injury to his lat, and Kyle Loesch with a tough start yesterday and some arm problems. Those are some minuses, as well as the Cardinals falling to second place in the Central.
Chris Carpenter gets the call today.
Carpenter won his last outing on Tuesday against the Nationals, and as you said, 5-2, not a bad homestand if Carpenter can bring it today.
And with a win, the Cardinals might be back in first place at the end of the day. We'll be back. Frank Cusimano will join you right after these messages.
Baseball fans, make your next game day part of a great getaway in historic
Him and a lot of pastors back home, our friends, our family, the team, the organization, they've all been there. The fans, I've gotten countless emails, letters, things like that from people that have never even met me, and it's been unbelievable support they've given.
Well, welcome to St. Louis. We hope it's a nice, long stay for you this time.
Me too. Thank you.
That's P.J. Walters. We will take a short time out. We'll continue our pregame show. When we come back, the Cardinal right fielder Ryan Ludwig. You may be surprised just how great his statistics have been as a member of the Cardinals. On News Channel 5. Well, last year at this time, when Ryan Ludwig would get a day off, people would get upset. Now he's just 2 at-bats away from leading the team in that department. Bottom line, when Ludwig plays, he produces. It's really hard to believe when you think about it. Out of all those mega-talented players to patrol right field in a Cardinal uniform over the last 50 years, Ryan Ludwig may actually be the best. Albert Red Shandings has seen them all in right field.
You can put Ludwig in with all of them, and he can fit in there pretty good.
And a 1-1 pitch. Ludwig cranks it out to deep left.
If you actually compare Ludwig's stats against the 3 other best over the last half-century, he fares quite well. We're talking over the course of an average 162-game season. Home runs, Ludwig averaged 28. That's more than George Hendrick, Brian Jordan, and Reggie Smith. Slugging percentage, Ludwig is also on top. Runs batted in, Hendrick is on top, Ludwig and Smith, and then Jordan.
I was very fortunate to get an opportunity over here, and this is now my 4th year here. So it's worked out tremendously. It's a great organization, and I couldn't be happier.
Yes, even though Ludwig has been to an All-Star game, won a Silver Slugger Award, and makes almost $5.5 million a year, he's still hungry to come to work. He remembers all of those years in the minor leagues, battling hip injuries and knee surgeries.
Then
You wake up every morning and you're thanking whoever you want to thank that you're healthy and you have the opportunity. So he's very, very consistent with how he practices and how he gets ready to play. And I think a lot of that is many days he didn't know he was going to have the opportunity.
Never be satisfied, always strive to be better, watch film, continue to lift and try to get stronger.
Ludwig plays it nearly flawlessly in the field.
Running, diving,
and rather ferociously at the plate. And Ludwig doesn't want this Cardinal dream experience to end soon. How long do you want to be here?
Oh, I think the right answer is yes.
Brought to you by Budweiser, with full flavor and a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. By Commerce Bank. Want more in a banking relationship? Call, click, or come by. Commerce Bank. Member at dashford.com. A warm Sunday afternoon. The Central Elementary Choir doing the national anthem. You heard most of that. Let's take a look, Rick, at the lineup for the Angels of Anaheim.
Very good middle of the lineup in Abreu, Hunter, and Morales. Morales was 5th in the American League MVP balloting last year. Napoli swinging the bat well as well. The catcher, he's got a lot of power. And those will be the folks that Chris Carpenter's got to try to figure out. He's making his 10th start of the season. The ERA is good. The record's good. And Chris Carpenter a chance to give the Cardinals a series victory with a win today.
And Carpenter is 4-2 against Los Angeles' Angels. The 3.88 in 8 starts, 10 appearances. Here's the defense this afternoon.
Cardinals have had some trouble up the middle with Ryan and Schumacher. A lot of errors there, but Rasmus has been pretty solid in center. Ludwig has been outstanding defensively in right field. And this is the A lineup for the Cardinals against the Angels here on a very warm Sunday afternoon.
There is the head man of the Angels, Mike Scioscia, 51 years old, born in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. The first to guide his team to the playoffs 6 times in the first 10 years as manager of Los Angeles. They won the World Series in 2002. Nice crowd on hand. The fans still coming in. Set now for the Toyota first pitch of the game. Carpenter to Eric Abar, I should say, and he tries to bunt his way on and fouls it off. Abar 2 for 8 in this series as a switch hitter, and he comes in today batting .241.
A lot of speed on this team. They're not afraid to bunt. They're not afraid to run. David Freese in on the grass at third, trying to take that bunt away.
Eric Ibar with 6 stolen bases. He's followed by Kendrick, who has 4. Then Bobby Abreu has 7. So they have good speed at the top of this order. That's foul back and out of play. 87 degrees right now here at the park. 0-2 the count. Ibar is from the Dominican Republic. Signed at age 18 back in February of '02. That's low. The plate umpire today is Paul Emmel. Bill Hahn is at first, Gary Darling at second, and Bruce Dreckman umpiring in the rocking chair down there at third. Interesting position the plate umpire takes, calling these balls and strikes as that's fouled away.
Looks like he's got the extreme inside pitch handled. But it'd be a little bit difficult perhaps to see that outside corner. We'll see as the day unfolds whether anybody has any trouble with his calls on that side of the plate, but he chooses to set up on the inside half. Had a pretty good look at that one.
2 balls and 2 strikes. The Angels 21-24 and a team batting average of .252. A little low, full count.
It's actually visually a little different for the pitcher to look at the umpire standing behind the left-handed hitting Ibar. Kind of an odd view from Carpenter's point of view, although if you're locked in as a pitcher, and I'm sure Carp is, all you're really looking at is that little piece of that glove that Yadier Molina's flipping up there for you.
That's foul. Down the line in right. Nice catch down there. Had over 44,000 in the park for the first 2 games here. It's going to be, I would think, over 40 this afternoon. Interleague play underway.
And what we're talking about, Jay, normally the umpire will set up more in this area right here, and Emil is choosing to get that inside part.
Up the middle, a single for Eric Ibar.
Here's the location, pretty much right in the middle of the plate, and he does what a good hitter's supposed to do. Makes the starting pitcher throw a lot of pitches, still end up on first base.
Good at bat. 10 pitches that time. Howard Kendrick batting .268 stands in, throw over to first. The Angels have been 8-4 this season when Kendrick bats in the number 2 slot. Kendrick, 26 years old, born in Jacksonville, Florida. Runner goes, and the only play is to first.
That's one of those little ways that speed really helps the ball club. Not a double play there because you send the runner. Otherwise it would have been. It's not just the stolen bases, Jay, or advancing first to third. It's that situation there. What speed on offense can do to create problems for a team defensively.
Bobby Abreu batting in the 3rd slot. He's hitting .268. He has enjoyed some terrific numbers against Carpenter over the years. .565 batting average against Carp, including 3 home runs. Inside corner for a strike.
Pretty good numbers.
Abreu is from Venezuela, 36 years old. This is outside. He's been a very durable player throughout his career. On the ground, Albert will make the play on his own. Ibar going on to third. He's there now with 2 out. And the cleanup man is Torrey Hunter. Hunter's batting .288. He's had 21 RBIs in his last 21 games. Pine Bluff, Arkansas, down in our viewing area. 3-time All-Star. Was injured much of last year.
Great defensive player, but he's got a lot of pop in his bat. The Angels have done a great job of retooling this team. You get a guy like Abreu and Torrey Hunter, who are both all-star type players, and get them while they still have some good years left. And Mike Scioscia turning them into Angels. And they're going to be very competitive in the American League West before it's over.
1 ball and 1 strike. Indians are leading the Reds 3-2 in the 4th inning at Cleveland. That's inside.
Emil set up not quite as extreme on the inside corner with a right-handed hitter. Not quite the same spot, but he's still making sure that he's got a good look at that inside corner, and I guess he's just projecting the outside corner right.
Fouled away. A day off tomorrow for the Cardinals, then into San Diego for 3, and a tough trip to Chicago for an afternoon game. Playing 3 in Chicago. Manager of the Cardinals in his 15th season, Tony La Russa, 8 division titles, 2 National League pennants, the Cards' 10th World Series title back in '06. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pop foul, back into the seats.
93 on that fastball from Carpenter. There's been a lot of talk over the last couple of weeks about the fastball velocity of Chris Carpenter. He's been using his off-speed pitches more this season than he has ever before, curveball and the cutter both. And talk is the velocity is down a mile per hour or so, but he still knows what to do with the baseball. He still knows how to pitch, and 93 is still pretty good.
Off the end of the bat. Outfielders playing Hunter straight away. Ryan at shortstop, all the way back out on the grass. Los Angeles is 9-13 on the road so far this season.
You mentioned Ryan being deep on the grass with a guy that runs as well as Torrey Hunter. Ryan's going to have to be quick, as he's a good 3 or 4 feet onto the grass. A normal ground ball to short is going to be a bang-bang play at first. But he has enough confidence in his throwing arm to get Hunter, but he better not take his time on a 6-3.
Payoff pitch coming. And a foul back. Like that one was right in his wheelhouse, but he got away with it. There's an interesting character in the world of baseball, Mr. Mickey Hatcher.
I'll say.
You just coaches.
You know what? You need to ride on a bus or fly on a plane with that guy for 6 straight months.
And the play by Freeze, a dandy, throws him out. At the end of a half inning of play, no score.
Getting a bartender's attention.
Mr. Weaver, but Schumacher, Ludwig, Pujols, Holiday, Rasmus, Freeze. Yadier Molina back behind the plate with Brendan Ryan and Chris Carpenter closing it out. And, you know, we talk a lot about Matt Holliday, but I'd like to see Yadier Molina get a good day here against Jared Weaver. He gets a lot of ground balls, so I suspect many of the Cardinals will have to take the ball the other way against this Angels defense. Rivera Hunter is the best of the outfielders. Abreu left to right. And Ibar, pretty slick fielding shortstop.
Skip Schumacher leading it off. Skip batting .245. Inside for a ball from Jared Weaver, the brother of Jeff, of course. He's 6'7", 205, 27-year-old Californian. Here's a shot into right. Abreu on the run and into the bullpen for a ground rule double. Schumacher smoked that one.
That's a good way to start offensively against a pretty good pitcher. Skip Schumacher getting a pitch up in the zone, and he just turns on it. As this ball bounces on the track, and it wakes up Marty Mason sitting there. Reaction's not quite as good as they used to be for Marty Mason.
Good old Marty. Ryan Ludwig stands in, batting .263 on this homestand and .292 on the season.
Let me be clear, Marty was awake. He's just kind of slow in his reaction.
There you go. Just enjoying himself out there.
Really interesting that they had Ludwig bunting on the first pitch. One of your hottest hitters in your lineup.
Took
Just
it off.
Let him hit the ball the other way as he was doing there. Ludwig's been going the other way so well anyway.
Yes.
Now, there haven't been a lot of hits the other way for this poor guy. He's been lining out to the right fielder for about a week. But even a line out to the right fielder gets Schumacher to third.
Albert on deck. Struck him out.
The high hard one on the inside part of the plate actually sails on him a bit, almost like a cutter. And Ludwig does not do the job, does not get the runner over. Now you wonder what Scioscia might do with Albert Pujols in first base open. Still leads the National League with 14 intentional walks, but it looks like they're going to pitch to him or at least be careful with it.
Albert, batting average .309, 300 on this homestand. Just a little wide for ball one. Well, Holiday has been heating up, so maybe that's why they've decided to pitch to him. We'll see how careful Weaver is.
Might walk him here. Now that you're behind him 2-0, I would not be surprised if they just go ahead and just walk him. Scioscia thinking about it.
A hot shot that's foul.
I might think about it some more. But what you're really doing by walking Albert is you're saying, yeah, Holiday's, you're going to have to pitch to Holiday anyway. So what you're saying is I'd rather pitch to Pujols and Holiday than Holiday and Rasmus.
And now the catcher, Mike Napoli, wants to talk things over. Jared Weaver, 16-8 last season. 174 strikeouts, 66 walks, and his 31% ground ball outs were the lowest in all of the major leagues.
Means he's got a good sinker. Also knows how to pick up the strikeout.
Foul to the screen.
Weaver is averaging 9.7 strikeouts per 9 innings, which puts him fourth in the American League in terms of total strikeouts. And he's already got one here. That was Ludwig. He'd like another one.
Redbirds are 4-4 lifetime against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. This is the 9th game between the teams since interleague play got underway. Two and two.
Weaver wants a new sign. He came set, decided he didn't want to throw that pitch. Asked the catcher to go through the signs again. Let's see if he was right the first time or if he made a good choice.
Another foul.
There are times you get the grip in your hand, Jay, and you're standing on the mound and you're getting set to throw a pitch to Albert Pujols, and you say, you know what, this is not going to work. And you just have to step off and start over again.
Weaver long and lanky, and he really whips it in there, doesn't he? Full count.
When Albert's locked in, he looks better taking that pitch that he took just there. He was still off balance, even kind of thinking about swinging at that slider way down and away. Just tell he's just not tracking the ball the same way he has in the past.
He has struggled over this month of May. Steps out now.
Of course, it's nice to struggle and be hitting 309.
Right. The walk. The next Family Sunday is June 6th when the Cards host the Brewers. All the fans purchasing a terrace or pavilion reserved seat receive a free Hunter hot dog and a Coca-Cola on that day. Plus all the kids get a free Six Flags ticket. Get your Sunday tickets today at Cardinals.com. Holiday 2 for 4 yesterday in a home run, 296 on the season. Catches the corner.
Wouldn't it have just been easier to have the catcher stand up and have 4 balls and let Albert go over there? We could have saved a little time. He could have saved a little stress by walking him intentionally. Now he's got to face Holiday. And I do like what he's done of late, Jay. I think he's made some adjustments.
High and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Popped up. Ibar, the shortstop. Third baseman couldn't find that ball. Good thing Ibar did.
The batter was out anyway. It was an infield fly. But you still like to catch it anyway. This is the big leagues after all.
So it'll be up to Colby Rasmus if the Birds are going to get on the board first. He had a triple and a couple of RBIs on Friday night. He's batting .313 on this homestand. .276 for the season. Schumacher out there at second, Pujols at first. Outside, ball 1. Cardinals are 101 and 91, Rick, in interleague play, second to the Florida Marlins in the National League. Amazing, the Marlins with the best interleague numbers of any team in the National League.
And the Angels have been pretty good at it the last couple of years.
Oh, have they? Tell you, they're 129 and 103, tied for third all time in the American League with the White Sox in Oakland.
You know, it's a challenge. Pitch. Really, a challenge for all teams is to learn how to scout the other teams effectively enough. You don't have a lot of time to do it. You're only playing them 2 games. How much work do you put in understanding how guys react to certain pitches. And we've seen a couple of high scores the last couple of games. I think it's an indication of not quite knowing how to pitch guys.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Happily keeps that ball out in front of him. Runners can't advance. It's 2-2.
I would think left-handers would get a much better look at Weaver. Right-handers having a difficult time seeing the ball off of him always, because he works from the third base side of the rubber and he throws way across his body anyway. He's got all kinds of movement. But a left-hander, that shouldn't phase him, shouldn't phase Rasmus at all.
Popped up, back in the seats. Well, I'll note that Dave McKay is back coaching at first base today. He's been out of action for that job because of some back problems. Joe Patini's been taking care of things down there, but good to see Dave back there, apparently feeling much better.
Joe's actually had some knee issues of his own. Got that taken care of a few weeks ago. He had some cartilage problems in his knee, but McKay, about once a year, he gets that bad back.
That's low, and it's a full count.
Those guys put in so many hours, Jay.
Oh, they work.
And we don't talk about those guys a lot, but the coaching staff, and you include Oquendo and talk about Dave Duncan a lot, not about Marty Mason enough or Mike Aldretti, and you know, guys that just put in an awful lot of time. They're the first people here at the ballpark, and they're the last ones to leave.
And this coaching staff been together a long time here. It's one of the real pluses for the Cardinals. Here's the payoff pitch. Strikeout number 2. The Cardinals strand 2. End of 1. No score. At 10 with the Sunset Ford Cardinal Nation Show. 30 minutes of in-depth stories, interviews, and features. That's the Sunset Ford Cardinal Nation Show right here on your home of Cardinal baseball, News Channel 5. Morales leading it off as we move to the second inning. Kennedy Morales, here's quite a story, Rick. He's 26 years old, from Cuba, defected to the United States in June of '04 after 8 unsuccessful attempts to get off the island. And he was a fantastic player in his youth for Cuba. He was the first teenager to play for the Cuban national team since Omar Linares back in the 1980s.
I think if he's got a teammate complaining about something to do with perseverance, that he kind of has a short wick on that. So let me tell you about perseverance. Let me tell you about hard work. Let me tell you about sacrifice. I mean, if he had 8 unsuccessful attempts, saying he understands things at a deeper level than we do, Jay.
He holds the Angels home run record for switch hitters. Hit 306 last year with 34 home runs. Wow. Shot right side off the facade over there. 0-2. Here's a long one to right. Way back. And it's gone. That is his 10th home run of the season. He leads the club in that department. And RBI number 34. He leads the Angels in that department as well.
Pitch looked like he was up in the zone a bit. No, not up, but thigh high, middle of the plate. It came back over the plate. He was looking for that pitch on the inside half. And a lot of power from Kendry Morales. Very good young hitter. And just what the Cardinals did not need. The Cardinals looking to get on top first and not have to worry about the stress of pressure at bats late, find themselves trailing here early.
Measured out at 393 feet. This is Juan Rivera batting .255. Into the seats in right. Rivera's had 2 home runs and 5 RBIs in his last 4 games. Comes into today batting .255. Out into left. On the run, Holiday. One away, and let's go to Frank Cusimano.
Jay, thanks very much. It's a pleasure to get together with the Cardinal General Manager, John Mozeliak. First of all, what do we know about Kyle Lohse?
Well, we don't know a lot more. We don't know much more than we did yesterday, other than he's still feeling a little sore. Obviously, he'll be giving some tests tomorrow, which will include an MRI. And based on those results, we'll determine what's the next step.
What do you like from P.J. Walters, from your reports from Memphis, and what you saw yesterday?
Well, I think the big difference between P.J. Walters yesterday versus last year is he's more mature. He understands what it takes to pitch at this level. He had 3 starts down in Memphis since joining them, and they were all very successful. He only gave up 1 earned run. I think the thing we have to think about with him is he knows how to pitch. I clearly think he can be successful at this level, and obviously we're hopeful because we're going to need him in the near future.
Do you anticipate a start for him either in San Diego or Chicago?
Yes, I do. I think it'll likely be in San Diego, just the way our rotation sets up. And when you look at what he brings to the table, he should be able to go out there and give you a chance to win a game, and that's good.
Of course, if Lohse gets bad news about his injury situation, you'd have to make another move. Would the next likely candidate be Lance Lynn, who was brilliant last night?
I would say right now we'd probably lean towards Adam Ottavino if we had to make a move in the next few days. But, I think we'll just let that news happen and then make a decision depending on what we learn.
John, we appreciate the visit. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Frank.
Cardinal GM John Mozeliak. Jay, back to you.
And Mike Napoli with a single into left center. Napoli started the day batting .240. He has homered in 3 of his last 6 games and is the all-time home run leader for LA's catchers. Quite a statistic when you figure he's hasn't been around that long. What, about 5.5 years, something like that. Kevin Fransden has been on a tear. He had 3 hits yesterday. He was just recently called up from Salt Lake. He had signed a minor league contract. Former Giant. Batting .462 as he stands in there right now.
Interesting that John Mozeliak told Frank that Ottavino would be the choice if Kyle Lohse has to have his arm looked at, has to go on the disabled list. Ottavino, what they like about him over Lance Lynn is he has better stuff, better upside.
Double play ball. Yes. LA picks up a run on the homer from Morales. 1-0 after an inning and a half. Ballpark is the only hotel that gives you home field advantage and an extraordinary Cardinals baseball experience. For reservations and information, call 314-421-1776 or visit HiltonSTLLewis.com. And Rick, to pass along some sad news we just received, Jose Lima has passed away at age 37, apparent heart attack. 89 career wins in his career, and very young man.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Too young.
David Freese, Yadier Molina, Brendan Ryan due here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 the Angels of Anaheim.
I think it's a realistic question to ask, where would the Cardinals be without David Freese at this point in the season? About a quarter of the way through the season, he's been an RBI machine. He's been really good with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, and played a good third base except for a short stretch early on. Actually a great third base the last couple of weeks. And I'm not sure Tony La Russa was 100% convinced he was going to be the everyday third baseman all year long.
That's a little outside. 2-2. Called that a strike, and that will be strikeout number 3. This is an interesting delivery this fella has. Tough to pick up the ball, as you mentioned.
Comes from behind the right-handed batter, and for him to be able to see it, he's almost got to look behind him, and that makes you very vulnerable to the outside corner, and that's where he painted Freese there with a called third strike. He's a guy that you want to get to as early as possible, but there's always a chance the third time through the order you start to pick up maybe that crazy delivery. But he does have the ability to pile up the strikeouts. And the Cardinals have struck out more this year than they should.
Fouled away by Molina. Yachty batting .263 on the year. .211 in this series. He leads the team, of course, 5 stolen bases, 15 RBIs in the month of April. That catches the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Huge hole in left center. Fouled away. Two and two. Into right, on the run, Abreu. Join News Channel 5 for this year's Coleman St. Louis Race to the Cure. It's time to sign up now by visiting ksdk.com. Save the date, June 12th, so you can help join in the fight against breast cancer. Here's Brendan Ryan, batting average at 179. Three for 7 in this series, and of course went 2 for 4 with a double and an RBI yesterday. Popped up out into short left, and a good play is made out there. Ibar coming up with it. That's going to do it after 2. 1-0 LA.
First inning?
Oh, absolutely. We have our own orchestra, you know.
Really? I thought that was your iPod.
I am joined now by the voice of the Cardinals, Mr. Mike Shannon. And first of all, congratulations on your honor this past week, being named a Missouri Squire. I can now call you the Squire.
Who'd have ever thunk it, right? Yeah, I was very honored. I mean, that's an unbelievably prestigious group.
You may have trouble saying it, but it is prestigious.
It is very
right?
prestigious, very prestigious. And yeah, that word comes. It's hard to tumble out of there, man, especially when you're talking about a group you're in.
Weaver, hitting for the first time this year, doesn't hit it very far. He is out. Might be enjoying some Budweisers out there. Is that Shannon? Steaks and seafood?
How's that? Hey, I think, when are we going to televise the game from over there? That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I would vote for that.
We can do it off the monitor, right?
You betcha.
Tell you what, the pictures that Mike and his gang gives us are so good, we could do the broadcast from over there.
Yep. Mr. Mike Helling, Mr. Tom Mee, and our wonderful staff. Boy, they do just a sensational
they're
job.
Even over there. That's half of them are over there enjoying the game. Way to go, guys.
Ibar singled, was stranded at third back in the first inning. One-run game on the home run right now by Morales.
You have the same feeling I have. This game has started out kind of slow motion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's one into right. Ludwig. 2 away.
See, the good thing about television, Jay, you can have the guys down on the truck speed it up. They have fast forward and all that kind of stuff.
Don't I wish? Don't I wish? we got to get someone with all the advances we've made. We ought to have somebody working on something like that.
Well, they have all the rules about speeding up the game, but they don't pay any attention to them.
Tell me about it. Kendrick grounded out in the first inning.
I like Whitey's statement. He said, if you're going to lose fast so they won't see it as bad or as long.
In the 5th inning at Cleveland, the Indians are leading the Reds 3-2.
They've come back. I think they've lost like 5 or 6 in a row. The Indians have, and the Reds are half game out in front of the Cardinals.
Well, you know, look at that. I happen to have a bottle of that in my cellar at home. It's very good stuff. Mike Shannon's own personal.
That was a heck of a birthday present my kids get.
That was a wonderful birthday present, and they did a beautiful job. Terrific California Red.
Good Cabernet.
Yes, sir. 0-2.
We've been known to have a glass of wine with dinner.
We have indeed. Maybe 2 on occasion. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think, Jay, in my mind, that the Angels are trying to slow Carpenter down. I think they're making a concerted effort here today to do it. You know how fast he pitches.
Yeah, he strikes him out. That is the first K for Carpenter. They're down 1-2-3, and after 2.5 innings of play, 1-0 Los Angeles.
he goes straight on when he throws the pitch. See where his leg comes down? He comes down straight on. And watch Weaver's. It's way over towards third base. Look how far he is away from the mound. He's about 2 feet off of the rubber there. But now, when you run it through, watch where their arms are. They're both at the same position. Both at the same position. Coming right over the top, and they've got that elbow up. And that's why they get such great velocity and movement.
Carpenter leads off this third inning for the Redbirds. He's batting 67, has an RBI.
Great pictures down there, guys. It's difficult to pick things up like that if you're here at the ballpark. And then when you have this kind of equipment that we have, Jay, man, you can spot all this stuff.
Yeah, it's well, Mike, when you and I think about the advantages of doing television today, when we were doing it 25 years ago with Harry Coyle, the technology's come a long way. Carpenter strikes out, and that's 4 strikeouts for Weaver.
The other night, we had a play here at third base when David Freese came in and he barehanded the ball. They had a slow-mo isolation of that, Mike and Tom in the truck, and it was unbelievable. You could see him come in, and he had his fingers together, and then when he went to feel the ball, he opened his hand, and I mean that. You could never see that if you were here at the ballpark. We couldn't see it from up here either, but that slow-mo camera, it set it down. It was a great picture.
Schumacher doubled back in the first.
That's how you can pick up so many interesting things by watching.
Schumacher now on this homestand is 6 for 14.
Slow but sure, right?
Yep.
They always say
out into left.
The cream always comes to the top.
2 away. Cutting the Game. There's a wonderful book by our director Tom Mee. It's available at all the major bookstores. You can visit their website, cuttingthegame.com. It's fascinating. Really a wonderful job that Tom did. And he's been doing it for a long time. And
if the average man went in one of those trucks down there, they'd say, "This is bedlam." It's controlled bedlam, though.
Well, it's
how many? They got
it's a terrific art form. It really is. People don't realize what doing live television sports is really all about sometimes, and that book will certainly fill you in on it. It's very well done.
He's got like 45 or 50 monitors down there where he can see okay, go to that one, number 72, and boom, they pop it up.
Ludwig struck out in the first.
I was down there and you were down there, so go to 72. No, not that 72, the other 70. But boy, you can really, with this new technology, slow motion cameras, wow. But you still have to have the men and women that know how to operate it all, and those cameramen are unbelievable also.
It's a teamwork situation, it really is, and they do a splendid job. Very dedicated staff that we have here.
Now get us some runs. Can you do that down in the truck?
Popped out of play.
I got a kick. Yeah, Tom Mee was covering it and said, "This is a bunt situation, so let's cover the bunt." So they didn't bunt. So the manager called him into his office and said, "Hey, I saw your replay." He said, you trying to manage now? What, you think I was going to bunt? Tony, he doesn't miss much either. No, sir, I was just covering it just in case.
And another strikeout, that's 5. We played 3. L.A. leads on the strength of the home run, 1-0. Join the Cardinals and your favorite alumni for the annual RBI Celebrity Golf Tournament Thursday, the 24th of June. This year's event at Grand Maria Golf Course over on the east side. Register your team today at cardinals.com/community or call 314-345-9443. Get to play with the pros and help Cardinals Care support kids in need. Ted Savage does a wonderful job with that event. Abreu will lead it off. He grounded out back in the first. And, Brian Jordan was here over the weekend, Mike.
Yeah, I had him on my show live at Shannon's after the game. And he's written 2 children's books, and they're just the first 2 of a series of 5, and then he's going to have another book about his childhood.
It was interesting. He said he was inspired by his mother and her help at a young age to do this.
Yeah, and then when he did it, then he called his mom and said, "Hey, Mom, will you fix this thing dramatically for me?"
A shot up the middle, leadoff single.
He is an outstanding citizen, Brian Jordan.
Yes,
Great
he
guy.
is.
We had a lot of fun talking to him about when he played with the Falcons, and he and Dion were on the same side over there. BJ made all the tackles, and Dion got all the knockdowns on the passes and the interceptions. So they were very good friends and still maintain a friendship. I think a lot of people misunderstand Deion Sanders.
Yeah, he's really a good person.
Does a lot for children.
He has a lot of flash, of course.
Oh,
but,
yeah, he loves the microphone.
Yeah.
And the camera. You turn that camera on, he's a different personality. Off the camera, though, he's a very quiet, easygoing guy, and he helps a lot of people.
Torrey Hunter grounded out in the first inning. Carpenter looking.
Well, I'm telling you, they're slowing him down. See how they slowed him down? He's out of rhythm. You know, they're stepping out. They're looking at the third base coach, getting signs. Ooh, they'll keep an eye on him. Now watch. He calls a strike now. He talks to the umpire a little bit. Now he'll step out. He's talking to the catcher. Now he's going to look down at the third base coach. He gives the signs. They're slowing him down.
This is not the normal Carpenter rhythm.
Well,
You can certainly tell that.
It started out like we're walking through a gum factory.
Foul tipped into the glove. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Look how far he walks out of the batter's box now. Looks at the signs.
Yeah, they're obviously.
Well, I guarantee you they are.
They've obviously talked about a plan to.
Good strategy.
Yep.
You got to tell the umpire, hey, let's go, get him back in there, let's play ball. You know, we had a thing where you're not supposed to walk more than 2 feet or something out of the batter's box. Where's that rule?
Another one up the middle.
It's paying off for him.
2 singles, 2 on, nobody out for Morales, who homered in the second.
He hits this ball very hard, and there's a lot of room up there. Jay, you remember when you were standing at the free throw line and you're making all these free throws, and then the guy would throw you the ball, make you move your foot? You know, just try to break the rhythm. I think they're doing a good job of it. Now, look here. This guy gets in, he messes with his batting gloves. At least he's staying in there.
The switch hitter, Morales.
Now, look, he backs out of there. He gets back in pretty quick. He's quicker than the others, it seems.
Leading the club in home runs and in RBIs.
He probably wants to get in there and hit. He's got the home run.
That's a foul off the plate or off his foot. Show you that home run earlier. 393 feet.
That's the only tally in this game. The line score is 150 Angels, 0-1-0 Cards. And only a Cardinal base hit is the leadoff double by Schumacher, and he was stranded, and that was in the first inning.
Here's a shot into left center, and a catch made out there by Holiday. Fine play, and the runners get back. They had to hustle.
See a bad base running by Abreu out there. He was way in. He's going to score if the ball goes by him into the wall, okay? So you should be about 10 feet off of the base. If he catches it, go back, tag up, and then go to third.
And he could have done that easily.
Oh, yeah, easily. So the Cardinals get a break here because of a mistake. Watch him. He starts running over to third. Look how far he is. He thinks he's not going to catch it. No, he just got to go all the way back. And he should be over on third, and he would have been there with only one out. So not very good base running there.
And Hunter was almost a second as well.
Well, it doesn't matter for him.
Not for him. But
no, he needs to go that far because if the ball gets by, he needs to be at second base so he can score.
Yeah.
Or at least go to third.
Rivera flied out to left in the second inning. 2 on and 1 out now. 0-2.
Look how far Rivera's backed out of the batter's box now. And he's going to take a lot of time. I think they're purposely slowing this thing down. I might be the only one.
Well, I think you picked it up very quickly.
I mean, look how long it's been since he's thrown a pitch. It's almost like 30 seconds every time.
Strikeout number 2 for Carpenter. Comes at a very, very good time. Sunday's game day on News Channel 5. Join us next Sunday. The Cardinals will be in Chicago to take on the Cubs. The Window World Cardinals game day preview comes your way at 12:30. Cards and the Cubs next Sunday. The friendly confines on your home of Cardinal baseball, News Channel 5.
Think they'll ever tear that park down?
Not in your time or mine, I don't think.
Boy, I just think how beautiful that thing would be down on the lakefront, huh? Much like that San Francisco park.
Yeah. Napoli singled in the second. The Reds and the Indians now tied up 3-3 in the 6th inning.
We go to San Diego. They're tied with the Dodgers out there. If the Cardinals can win this one today, and there's a possibility there'll be 2 first-place clubs playing one another again. San Diego has been a little surprise out there in the West. That thing's going to be hotly contested all the way down the road.
And the Dodgers finally caught fire. You know, they were really struck.
Boy, they got off to a terrible start. And the Giants are only a couple 3 back.
3 balls and no strikes.
You know what a couple 3 is, don't you, man? Couple 3 means that the San Francisco club is 2.5 out. It's a couple 3. You have those couple of 3s every time you play 4 or 5 holes.
Into right field. And it is gone.
That's his 3rd home run in these 3 days.
He is, well, I mentioned, you know, he's the all-time L.A. leader among catchers in home runs. And it's quite a stat. This guy is something else.
Well, I mean to tell you, not only did he go to the opposite field, that thing went over the bullpen. And that's the 9th home run Carpenter's given up this year. He gave up only 7 all of last season.
Yeah, that's been a disturbing situation. All of a sudden, it is 4-0. Here's Franzen, who hit into a double play back in the second. And this is foul.
It's a good thing. He could have gone to second.
410 feet on the home run.
To the opposite field. Wow.
3-0 count, too.
That's unbelievable. And the pitch wasn't, I mean, it wasn't right down the middle. It was on the outside part of the plate. He went right with it. Man.
Well, the Birds have got a mountain to climb here this afternoon. That's foul in the upper deck.
Every player, just about every player, after they take a swing or they foul it off or they walk at least 3 or 4 steps away from the batter's box.
The strikeout is the 3rd. But the home run for Mike Napoli. Plates 3. 4-0 Los Angeles. Ball on News Channel 5 is brought to you by Bank of America. Get Cardinals banking only from Bank of America. Get started at a banking center or go to bankofamerica.com/Cardinals. By Dave Sinclair Automotive Group, a proud sponsor of Cardinals baseball. And by McDonald's in a 16-ounce premium roast coffee or a sausage burrito for $1 each. That food looks pretty good, doesn't it? Doing a great job over there. Pujols. A shot into center field. Hunter moves over to make the play. Albert hitting the first pitch and hitting it well, but right at Hunter. Matt Holliday popped out back in the first inning. Florida Marlins are leading the White Sox 7-0 in the 4th inning up at Chicago. Low for a ball to Holliday. One ball and one strike. Colorado 8. Kansas City nothing. 4th inning at Kansas City. Greinke was the starter there in Kansas City today. It's foul.
This guy's a good pitcher. Give him a little comfortable lead. You can just rear back and let her loose. 6'7", 205-pounder.
He's long and lanky, and you had that wonderful shot earlier of the 2 pitchers, and he really does whip that arm across his body, doesn't he? Albert fouls it away. Excuse me, Holliday.
You'd be surprised when you see these pitchers in slow motion like that. Their elbow is right even with their shoulder, if not higher sometimes, but right even with it mostly. the guys that come over the top. And you'd think he was a sidearmer the way he steps towards third, but he comes over the top. Ooh, tough play.
It gets through. Holiday, I imagine, will get a single there. He should.
Yeah, that'll be a base hit.
Let's remind you about what's on tap, presented by Bud Light, the Cardinals and the Padres, 8:30 on Tuesday out at EPCO Park on Fox Sports Midwest. That is not a live shot of San Diego, but it's a very nice shot.
Check out those boards they're working on. That was a short board there. You surf, Jennings?
No.
You don't?
No, I did a few years ago when I was covering a golf tournament in Hawaii. They tried to get me on a surfboard. And through the help of the technicians and some slow-mo, they did actually get me up on the board and show that on one of the telecasts. And
but it was on the sand when you were on the board. Then they showed the ocean right behind you.
We got some mail on that deal.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
1 ball and 1 strike.
They're going to track that video down.
I'm telling you.
What golf tournament was that?
It was a Champions Tour event up on the northern island, the island of Oahu. No, that was about 5 or 6 years ago that I did that event up there, and the Arnold Palmer course.
That was for CNBC or NBC?
Yeah, CNBC.
CNBC. Okay, I know how we can find it, boys.
Uh-oh. I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Oh, we wanted to see that video. Are you kidding?
Woo-wee. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rasmus standing in.
He's a new bat.
Yeah. Colby struck out back in the first. We led all the rookies in the game last season, 147. And his 16 home runs last year were second among the rookies. That's high, 2-2. Four, 6-0 for Los Angeles, 0-2-0 for the Cardinals. All of the runs coming on home runs for the Angels. Oh, this is well hit but foul. Home run in the second inning from Morales, his 10th of the year, and then the 3-run shot by Napoli in the 4th. Napoli behind the plate.
I don't think I've seen a right-handed batter hit the ball that far to the opposite field. I mean, that thing went over the Cardinal bullpen.
A full count now to Rasmus.
That's a long, long way to hit the ball to the opposite field.
Roll over.
Well, they don't call those balks anymore, do they? You used to have to step towards the base. You didn't step over there at all.
And the walk. 2 on and 1 out for David Freese. Before work, before school, join News Channel 5's Art Holiday and Jennifer Blome. St. Louis's favorite weekday morning show. It's Today in St. Louis. The latest news, traffic, and weather. Today in St. Louis begins at 4:30 a.m. bright and early, right here on News Channel 5. Second walk issued by Weaver. Freese struck out in the second. Strike on the corner.
See a little habit that Weaver has. Watch him move that ball around, too. Now, he'll switch where he wants to get it. He'll hold it differently on different pitches.
And a shot into left. And they're going to hold up Holiday. The bases are loaded for Molina.
Well, if you see Freese, this ball is in on his hands. And he tries to get those hands pulled in. And he did a good job of it, lining that ball to the left side. Very good hitter. This kid's going to be well, he's already a very steady player. And he's been steady from day one.
Here are the runners. Holiday at third. Rasmus out there at second. And Freese over there at first.
Yachty has one grand slam this year. That's the Reds. Carpenter had one also. I think that was in Cincinnati too, wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken.
So, first grand slam was in Cincinnati. Up. He joined McGuire and Rowland as the only Card players to slam. One ball and one strike.
I just take a nice little gap with him.
Carpenter looking on intently.
He's a real good student of the game, Carpenter. Really tough pitch.
Really was. One ball and two strikes.
Weaver, with all that motion, still gets it up there in the low 90s. His pitches are 92, 93 miles an hour on the fastball, and that thing's moving with all that motion. So this guy is no picnic to the face.
Molina, one of the toughest to strike out in the game. Although the Cardinals, as a team, have been striking out more this season than usual. The Ducks are on the pond. One ball and two strikes. All the way.
A good series as far as the fans have been concerned.
Oh, terrific.
The first two have been sellouts.
Great attendance, over 44,000 the first two games, and I would think around 40,000 this afternoon.
They're plus on the 40, yeah.
One ball and two strikes. 2-2. You know, Mike, interleague play gets some bad media coverage and press, and some people don't like it, and a lot of people do, I think. But for the most part, you look at those attendance figures in the newspaper this morning.
It's 11%. It's right at 11% plus. So as long as the fans like it, you're gonna have it. And, you know, the commissioner likes it, and I tell you, you get to see the other players that you would not normally see, you know, from the other ball clubs that come in. Now the Angels have been here 3 times. You might argue with the scheduling. They've been here 3 times, and we've yet to beat Anaheim.
Right. Here we go. Bases loaded. 3-2. 1 out. 4-0. Los Angeles. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Fouled away.
Yachty's made himself a tough out at him. Now Napoli's going to go out there and say, look, you're going to throw this guy a strike, but keep it down. If you keep it down, we can get the double play. Now the shortstop comes in there. They want to get on this. Keep that ball down, hits it on the ground, we can get the double play for you and get out of this mess.
Ryan is the on-deck hitter. Another payoff pitch coming from Jared Weaver. coming across. Here's Rasmus, 4-2.
We have two very good hitters on this team with 2 strikes. And Rasmus and Freeze and Molina are back-to-back in the lineup. They're both really good with 2-strike hitters.
RBIs number 25 and 26 for Molina.
He got that one right down the middle, and Yachty didn't miss it, did he?
The Birds battling back here in the bottom of the 4th. Tying runs are on with 1 out. Ryan, who popped out in the 2nd inning, will be at the plate as the plate umpire, Paul Emmel, goes out and breaks up the conference.
Well, this would be a big boost for Ryan if he can get a base hit here.
He was 2 for 4 yesterday. Had an RBI.
Such a nice kid. We really need this guy. He's a guy that sparks our club.
On the ground it goes. The shortstop right through his legs. A run will score. The play at third. Out.
Great tag by the third baseman. I think he might have jammed his wrist on it also.
Yeah, Franzen may be injured here. He obviously is in some pain. It's a base hit.
RBI for
Ryan.
And they can't get the base hit. It's an error.
Did they put the error up?
Well, they should. That thing's an error.
Yeah, there it goes now.
Yeah, that's an error. No RBI. He's sick. And then the play at third base, you see how he jammed that hand in there, okay? Get some feeling back into it, see if he's okay. Looks like he's going to be all right. That's great. Yeah, he says, let's go. Redbird's right back into this one now. Carpenter could really help himself here, couldn't he?
Yes, indeed. Ryan is out there at second. Molina cut down on a bang-bang play there at third. 4-3, LA. Carpenter struck out in the 3rd inning. Strike 1. The Indians have retaken the lead in the 7th inning at Cleveland, 4-3 over the Reds.
You're a scoreboard watching, huh?
A little bit, yeah. Probably too early in the season to be doing it. But
how about those last 2 weeks, boy? Everybody's watching that scoreboard, aren't they? And then you get down to the last week, and it's a tight race. How about 64? And it was on Friday, the final weekend of the season. There were 4 teams that could have tied for the National League race. Wow.
And the strikeout, that is number 6 for Weaver. Cardinals get 3, 4-3 Los Angeles. This day in history, May 23rd, 1935. The first ever scheduled night game in Cincinnati is rained out. They had to wait. If I'm not mistaken, I think when they finally put the lights in at Wrigley Field, their first game was rained out as well.
Bad starts, huh?
Here's Weaver. He grounded out back in the third. He'll be followed by Ibar and Kendrick. They're rejoined by Rick Horton. Here's another little bleeder out in front. Good play by Carpenter. Jared moves pretty well down that line.
Yeah, he got down the line very well for a pitcher that doesn't get the hit very often.
They're the most accurate weather team in town. Cindy Pressler, Scott Connell, Mike Roberts, and Anthony Slaughter. They won the weather seal of approval 6 straight years. St. Louis's most accurate. The Weather Plus weather team only on News Channel 5.
You know, Jay, we have a best wishes to send out to a great Cardinal fan, Maureen Wilhelm, who is in the hospital today watching the telecast. She's a great fan, and both for her and her family, we wish them the best, and we appreciate her sticking by the Cardinals. And we're thinking about you today, Maureen.
Maureen, all our best to you. Yes, indeed. Another birthday wish for one of my great friends, Ron Coleman, 80 years old today. And he's here at the ballpark. Albert can't handle it. It was a hot shot. See how they rule. It is an error. Now get Cardinal banking only from Bank of America. You'll get the Cardinals logo on your debit card, credit card, and checks. Plus, get extra base rewards with every credit card purchase. Learn more at a banking center or bankofamerica.com/Cardinals.
That was a tough chance for Albert.
Yep.
But correctly scored, I would say.
Kendrick has grounded out and struck out this afternoon. 4-6-1 for the LA Angels of Anaheim. 3-4-1 for the Redbirds.
That's Albert's first error of the season.
And that is the 30th error for the team on the year. LA has committed 33 errors coming into this afternoon's action here. 2 balls and no strikes to Kendrick. Right down the heart of the plate. Kendrick hit .356 with 11 RBIs during interleague play last season. Right down to Albert, goes to second, and the ball hit the runner in the back. Albert very aggressive on those plays. And another error charged to Albert.
Frustrating inning for Albert, and he is trying to do a little bit too much on this. He's trying to get the double play. He's got the easy out. He can just take the one out, maybe try to get the tag play at second, but he's got no chance of, in his mind, of turning a double play if he did it that way. So what Albert does is he gets the ball. He's only a couple steps off the bag, but he tries to get that lead runner first and hits Ibar right in the middle of the back. So no chance, obviously, for the double play. Cardinals don't even get an out in 2 straight errors for Albert.
Here's Ibar, who grounded out in the first, singled and scored in the fourth. Ibar scoring on the home run by Napoli.
You know, a little frustration brewing this week with Albert and the manager having a little bit of a back and forth. It's going to happen when a team's frustrated over not performing at the best of levels, but I think Albert's certainly a competitor. Clearly the manager is, and you know, there are times where you just get it out and move on. And it appears that both of them have, which I give them both great credit for. But you've got to try and find a way to control your frustration in this game, because it's always there. It's always there, Jay.
And that's not easy. Here's a little looper out into left, and it's going to score Ibar. Holiday tried to deke him on the play. We'll show you that maybe, but he wasn't fooled at all. Ibar coming home with a run.
Well, Ibar trusted his eyes, and it was actually done a little bit late by Holiday anyway, but I think Ibar had already made the decision that ball was going to drop in front of Holiday, and he made the smart play. And talk about frustration, Chris Carpenter has some now. An error, your team got you the 3 runs back, then an error, and a bloop, and all of a sudden you're back struggling again, trying to get through an inning.
And Torrey Hunter grounded out in the first. He singled and later scored on that Napoli home run in the 4th. Kendrick at second. Abreu down there at first. 2 balls and no strikes. Strike, 2-1.
All the frustrations again that Carpenter may be feeling right now could be diminished by a nice little ground ball up the middle. Middle infielders playing at double play depth. Close to the bag is Schumacher. Hunter's already hit into 7 double plays on the season. Even though he runs well, he hits the ball so hard, he hits into a lot of double plays. So we'll see if Carpenter can make that happen. He's got the count in his favor here, 2-2.
Carpenter hasn't had a lot of success in interleague starts. He's 8-10 in his career in interleague starts with a 4.63 ERA. 25 interleague starts in his career. Time called. A run home, 2 on, 1 out.
Hunter a pull hitter. You notice Schumacher playing very close to the bag at second.
A little high, full count. Doesn't go the other way very much, does he, Rick?
Most of his hits to left, a few to right field. That's why Schumacher is where he is.
Fouled away. We'll do it again.
Got a nice text from Bruce Sutter, who's teasing me. He says can't go 5 innings anymore. He's watching our telecast. And he knows that Mike Shannon came in for a couple of innings. He's wondering if I just don't have the stamina to go 5.
Well, Bruce, see what happens here. Only play is to first. Well, let's show him what you can do with Rick's quick fix time.
Well, talking about Bruce Sutter, talking about the importance of saving the bullpen. Chris Carpenter now has thrown 86 pitches on the day, but if Chris Carpenter can get deep into this game, all of your concerns about not having enough innings in your bullpen go away. It's incredible how that happens. One day you're worried about how many innings you have in your bullpen, and a guy like Carpenter goes out there and pitches 8 solid innings, and you're no longer worried about it. So Carp going deep in this game is very important.
And here's an intentional pass to Morales, who homered in the 2nd and flied to left in the 4th. He is the leader in RBIs and home runs for this Angels club. The intentional walk will load the bases. Kendrick, Abreu, and Morales out there, and Juan Rivera, who flied to left in the second and struck out in the fourth, will be at the dish.
Pretty important moment in this game right here. Cardinals still in this, down just a couple of runs. Dangerous potential at the plate in Rivera, who does have the 20 RBIs and has been so good with the bases loaded. Carpenter needs an out here desperately.
He's the only starter left from the Angels' 2006 opening day lineup. You mentioned they've been doing a lot of work on this team. Fouled away.
Well, they are missing some of their key members the last couple of years. John Lackey no longer with the team in the rotation. They no longer have Sean Figgins, who signed with Seattle. Was kind of a
that was a 3-year deal, wasn't it?
Yeah,
up there?
And he was just kind of a important part of the offense in a lot of ways, not just his speed, but his defense. He can play a lot of different positions. Kind of an underrated player for Mike Scioscia, but not worth the money that Seattle thought he was worth.
No.
So they've had to kind of retool a bit.
Ooh, high and tight, 1 ball and 1 strike.
So curveball just gets away from Carpenter. Just kind of spins out of his hand. Very similar to a pitch that he hit a batter with in his last start.
On the ground, Albert to second, in time. A fine play by Albert, ranging way to his right, made that play in time. It's 5-3 Los Angeles.
Catching, 12 of the 30 managers in the big leagues are catchers, including Mike Scioscia here this afternoon. 11 former infielders, including Tony La Russa. 5 outfielders, only 1 pitcher. What is the matter with that? And 1 guy who was a high school coach, then became a scout, and now is a big league manager, and that's Dave Tremblay with the Baltimore Orioles.
And I'll bet you that pitcher wasn't a left-hander.
I bet he was. I bet he was. And I bet that guy who's a pitcher has a staff that leads the National League in earned run average,
yes.
and that is Bud Black with
Bud
San
Black,
Diego.
that's right.
They have quite a team, and the Cardinals are going to see him soon. But a lot of catchers, they understand the game, Jay, like nobody else does, because they have to think about the game as a pitcher thinks, and they're also
involved in every play.
You bet they are.
Yeah.
And they're in all the meetings.
Schumacher leading it off. Skip doubled in the first, flied to left in the third. His batting average going up. It's up to 248 now after a real struggle. The off-speed pitch gets him 1-2.
For those that don't know, Tony La Russa was a shortstop when he came up to the big leagues. Actually, one of the youngest shortstops to start on opening day in the big leagues. He was just 18.
Weaver's been throwing a lot of change-ups to Schumacher. That one's in the dirt, 2-2. Atlanta and Pittsburgh are in the 8th inning, tied 2-2. Milwaukee leads Minnesota 4-2 in the 8th inning, and a full count to Schumacher.
I like what Skip has done the last couple of weeks to get himself back on track. Just about a hit a day. He hasn't kind of tried to do too much, but his average is just climbing and climbing and climbing.
Chopper, and the first baseman handles it nicely. Morales for the out. When you get together some of the biggest voices in St. Louis, you get some big opinions, good or bad, right or wrong. They tell it like it is. See what everyone's talking about. Watch I'm Just Saying weeknights during News Channel 5 at 10 o'clock. Ludwig has struck out twice this afternoon.
That show sounds like life in the bullpen to me. Just a bunch of people with a lot of opinions talking about it. It's exactly what life in the bullpen's like.
If they'd ever let us put a secret microphone out there,
it'd be unbelievable. It would be the best reality TV going.
Ball 1 to Ludwig. 1-1.
Ludwig does not look like he's seeing the ball very well against Weaver. Has that strange delivery. Just a little bit late on every delivery from Weaver. I know we talked about it earlier, Jay, but he's almost stepping towards the on-deck circle for the visiting team.
Right.
Behind the batter is where he's stepping. Then across his body, and Ludwig just can't see it.
No. Luddy really struggling here this afternoon. That's strikeout number 7.
Again, late on that fastball up in the eyes. That's about 8 inches out of the strike zone as well.
Albert has walked and flied to center. Curveball misses inside. One ball and one strike.
I've already had a good day, though, Jake, because I got a text from a Hall of Famer during the middle of the game.
I was going to say, that's
how good am I?
You are very good. I tell people that all the time.
Well, not only Bruce Sutter, Whitey Herzog going into the Hall of Fame this year, and perhaps the guy at the plate here, destined for that same place.
No question. Well, and I think of Bruce Sutter. I think of so many times when I saw him pitch that he was absolutely unhittable. And also, I think of a really, really fine guy.
Absolutely.
Out into center field, and a good job out there by Torrey Hunter with that speed getting to that ball. That's going to do it. Down 1-2-3 after 5 innings. It's 5-3 Los Angeles. On News Channel 5 is brought to you by Hardee's. Try the new grilled cheese bacon thick burger only at Hardee's. By Dave Munganak's Lexus of St. Louis and Plaza Lexus. Unprecedented access means unprecedented values now through June 1st. And by Fairmont Park. Party at the park every Friday evening at Fairmont Park. Napoli leading it off. He singled in the singled in the second, and then he had the 3-run home run in the fourth.
The long 3-run home run.
He boomed that one 410 feet.
The other way. Wow.
And he's a machine here today. Napoli now 3 for 3.
Well, he's the best 240 hitter I've seen in a long time.
I'd have to agree with that.
Not only does he go the other way, but he also gets hit on pitches on the inside half, even though he is jammed there. He's just in the zone right now. Picks up his front leg, kind of like Holiday does or has done in his career.
This is Kevin Fransden. Fransden is 0 for 2 this afternoon. Grounded into a double play and struck out. He hasn't played much, as I mentioned, being called up from Salt Lake after signing a minor league contract.
This is kind of new territory for an American League team that's got to figure out whether you bunt or not. Now that Carpenter's down 3-0, you're not thinking that way. But with the pitcher up next, you're not going to sacrifice in front of the pitcher, so you have to kind of think of something else to do.
In for a strike.
American League Baseball so different, Jay. Think about pinch hitters. It's kind of a disadvantage. The Angels are 3 for 16 pinch hitting. They've only had 16 opportunities. The Cardinals have had 64.
And a walk. Are you a Facebook fanatic? Become a fan of News Channel 5 on Facebook. Look up KSDK or link to us by clicking on the Facebook icon on the KSDK.com homepage. Share your views on the latest news and stories about St. Louis on air or online. News Channel 5 is where the news comes first.
It's so you, Jay, to be talking about Facebook and icons and online and homepage.
I have no idea what all that is, but I just read it.
Well, you did a nice job of reading it.
Sure, it's
all Greek to you.
Of great interest to some people.
It is. Cardinals looking for that bunt now, obviously, with the pitcher at the plate. Cardinals very aggressive defending the bunt.
Now, and they took it off, and the only play is to first.
Brendan Ryan might have been a little slow getting to third base. Have to look at the replay of that. David Freese turned and thought about trying to get the lead runner here. Ryan's responsibility is to get to third and get on the bag, although he was not going on the wheel play there. No. That was not the defense that the Cardinals employed there. So David Freese just hoping maybe Ryan could beat the runner to third, Napoli, but made the wise choice to get him out.
Runners at second and third with one out for Ibar. Singled in the first, fly to right in the third, reached on an error in the fifth. Ooh, foul. Buddy, all right over there. That was a shot.
Dennis Reyes throwing the bullpen for the Cardinals, trying to go as deep in this game as they can with Chris Carpenter, who now has 103 pitches. 71 of them have been for strikes. Pretty good ratio there.
And strike two. One ball and two strikes.
That could have been trouble in the dirt there. Molina does a nice job of blocking that pitch at the feet of Ibar. It's one of those where the runner can get in your way, but good form and use his whole body to get in front of that ball. That could have been trouble.
Just misses outside. 2-2.
Carpenter in search of that strikeout pitch. 3 strikeouts on the afternoon only for Chris Carpenter. Could use one here.
And he got him on the off-speed pitch. That's a big strikeout for Chris. That is our Hardy's hot pitch of the day.
Well, he comes up with a breaking ball when he needs it. Starts out on the outside corner and dips down at the last minute, and Ibar swings through it. Big strikeout for Carpenter. And he's got a chance of getting through this 6th inning and keeping it a 2-run game.
Here's Kendrick, who's grounded out, struck out, and reached on the error. In that 5th inning, 2 errors by Albert Pujols. His first 2 errors of the season.
This is probably going to be the last inning for Chris Carpenter.
Fouled off his foot.
That pitch 95 miles an hour. No signs of tiring at 109 pitches. I'm sure that's what the conversation is all about right now is, boy, he still looks good, but do we really want to send him back out there?
Well, and you can relate to it. This warm weather helps.
Oh, yeah.
Get looser quicker, and
it helps on the getting loose part. Sometimes it hurts on the stamina part.
That's true. Ooh, that just missed. Tailing outside at the last moment. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Foul ball. The Cardinals in their half of the inning will have Holiday, Rasmussen, Freeze, and hopefully more coming up.
Reds still trailing, bottom of the 8th inning, 4-3 against Cleveland. Cleveland victory, and if the Cardinals are able to come back today, would put the Cardinals back in first place. Not that that matters that much right now, but it's always nice to wake up in the morning and know you're in first place, Jay.
Yeah, and a day off tomorrow. Down to third. What a stop. What a play. David Freeze. Nice job. L.A. strands 2 after 5.5. Los Angeles 5. Name that Cardinal. Now, some people, regardless of what you might believe, I did not call games that this fellow played.
Johnny
1907 to 1910.
I must admit, I've never heard of Johnny Lush. Kind of a good name for a pitcher, though, in some ways.
Well, let's hope he wasn't a lush.
Yeah, let's hope not.
He was indeed a good player.
We don't even have a photo of Johnny Lush.
Well, that's a rendering.
Yeah. Boy, we were reaching back there, weren't we?
Yes, sir. Here's Holiday. Strike on the corner. Brandon Wood is the new third baseman. Remember, Franston got a little bit of an injury earlier when he got tied up on that play at third base. Molina coming into third, and was a bang play, as I mentioned at the time.
He got the worst part of the bang.
Yeah. The 0-2 pitch struck him out. It was only 89 miles an hour, but it was way up there, and he went for it, and that's 8 strikeouts now for Weaver.
89 up here sometimes looks even quicker than that, and it actually hits the spot that Napoli gave it. Frustrated Matt Holliday has to take a right turn. There's some pitchers that are able to pitch up because their ball explodes up, and it doesn't necessarily have to be 90 plus. Sid Fernandez was like that. Jim DeShays was like that.
Out into left. Rivera makes the play, 2 away. Who's your favorite local band? Here's your chance to vote with the MetroMix.com Hot 5 competition. Check out the best local music acts in St. Louis at MetroMix. The top 5 of the Hot 5 will showcase their talent at the Foxhole on June the 11th. Visit MetroMix.com/Hot5 and cast your vote today. David Freese has struck out, singled, and scored.
And we want to wish a happy 56th birthday to Butch Lee. He's a great Cardinal fan, and he's probably happy about that base hit by David Freese.
Freese continuing to impress with the bat and in the field.
That play he made at the top of the inning was outstanding. Saved a run, probably. And he keeps the inning going here in the bottom of the 6th for Yadier Molina. Nice kind of smooth swing. Nothing much to that. David Freese has been kind of the antithesis to what we've seen with other Cardinal batters. He seems so balanced in his approach. I'm not saying he's going to get a hit every time, but he just seems balanced with his body. A lot of other Cardinals seem off balance, late on pitches, a lot of movement with their lower half.
Here's a shot into center field, but it is right at Hunter. That ball was hit hard off Molina's bat, but it doesn't get the job done. 5-3 LA. goes 6 innings. And now it's Dennis Reyes, 32-year-older. He has 9 consecutive scoreless appearances in May, and he and Miller have both looked very sharp this month.
And one of those scoreless appearances was against the Angels on Friday night. He's been in 20 games, and he's been very, very good out of the bullpen, as has Miller, especially against left-handers. And he'll face Bobby Abreu to lead it off. He'll also have the switch hitter Kendry Morales, who will turn over and hit on the right side after Torrey Hunter.
Abreu fouls it back. Dennis Reyes, his nickname is Big Sweat. They had an interesting story in the Post-Dispatch today about nicknames of the Cardinals.
I noticed that Trevor Miller is the one handing out a lot of the nicknames of those guys down in the bullpen.
No balls, 2 strikes. Abreu has grounded out, singled and scored, singled and picked up an RBI this afternoon. Strikeout.
We'll see what the Cardinal bullpen can do over the next 3 innings as we watch that last pitch from Reyes. A slider, middle of the plate. Abreu fooled on it. Not a good at-bat for Abreu against the left-hander. But the Cardinals need to get 9 outs out of their bullpen, and it's a fairly short bullpen, and it may limit what Tony can do matchup-wise. Not that there's not enough innings down there. Certainly there are. Franklin's ready to pitch today. But you might not want to go left, right so quickly because there just aren't as many innings down there. There's a left and a right for you.
Out to the shortstop. Ryan throws on. Are you traveling this season? Take the Cardinals with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Cards game live or on demand on your computer. Visit Cardinals.com for details. Local in-market blackouts will apply. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Morales has homered, flied to left, and been intentionally passed this afternoon.
Reyes looks sharp.
Into right field, on the run, Ludwig. A very quick 1-2-3 inning for Reyes.
Baseball fans, make
For the Love of the Game is sponsored by McDonald's.
Great crowd here this afternoon. A hot day at Busch Stadium, but they're hoping for some late Cardinal offense.
Talking about love, you'll love a 16-ounce premium roast coffee or a sausage burrito for $1 each, only at McDonald's. And the new pitcher, as we get the call to the bullpen, presented by Verizon. And Felipe Lopez stands in. Weaver out of the game. This is Kevin Jepsen, his 20th appearance of the season.
Kind of glad to see Weaver out of this game. Seemed like he was starting to settle down again. He had a stretch where he retired 9 straight. The Cardinals got to him in the 4th, but he started to settle down again in the 5th and 6th, and now it's Jepsen's turn. And I like what Lopez has done for the Cardinals since he's come off the disabled list. He's got a little pop in that bat, especially from the left side.
Two balls and a strike.
So what you do when you bring Lopez in late for Brendan Ryan is you get some added offense, but you are making a little bit of a defensive sacrifice. Lopez not quite the defensive player that Ryan is, but he does have pop in his bat. Good leadoff guy.
And he gets the strikeout. Immediately following today's telecast, stay tuned for the Dave Sinclair Automotive Group Cardinals Game Day Wrap. Enjoy all of the Cardinal highlights from today's action, insight into the game. Channel 5 is your home for the St. Louis Cardinals. Here is John Jay now, the pinch hit as Mott is loosening up in the pen.
I did ask John officially, by the way, if his parents named him after the Supreme Court Justice and former governor of New York, and he said no. Both of his parents are Cuban. He's from the Miami area, and he said it's just a coincidence, but it's one that he is okay with.
There you go.
Now you know the rest of the story, Jay. Been very good off the Cardinals bench.
Fouled away. 96 miles an hour. Kevin Jepsen's last outing was on the 20th at Chicago, and it was his first appearance since May 12th. Allowed 4 runs on Thursday. Matches his season high. And this for the first baseman, Morales. 2 out. Bullpen has struggled at times this year, Rick.
Yeah, and it should be kind of a strong point for this club because they've got a couple of closers down there, potential closers, in Brian Fuentes and Fernando Rodney. And Scott Shields has had some great numbers in his career too, but they just have had kind of a rough start. Starting pitching hasn't been as good as they thought, nor has the bullpen.
Lopez hitting for Ryan, struck out, and Jay grounds out.
Of course, we look at the Angels here, and they seem like they're pitching well, but they're last in the American League in earned run average.
Schumacher fouls that one away. Skip doubled in the first, flied to left in the third, and grounded out in the 5th. In the bottom of the 7th, 5-3 Los Angeles. That catches the corner. He was 6-4 last year in his rookie season in the big leagues. Out to the shortstop. Ibar makes the play, and the Redbirds go down 1-2-3, and after 7, it's 5-3 Los Angeles. On News Channel 5 is brought to you by Window World, a proud sponsor of Cardinals baseball, and by Toyota. Toyota's national sales event is going on now. Hurry into your Toyota dealer today. There's the old courthouse downtown St. Louis on this warm Sunday afternoon. Jason Mott on to do the pitching, and Jason earned his second win with 2 perfect innings on Friday night.
Lopez takes over for Ryan at shortstop. He pinch hit for him, and Jason Mott might make it a little warmer here this afternoon with the heat that he's been bringing of late. Fastball getting back up to 95 plus. That one at 97.
It's a great shot. The little one on hand for the action. Rivera hits it into center field. Rasmus is camped under it, 1 away.
Mott's definitely got his velocity back, Jay. He's been different the last couple of weeks. 93, 94 is not too bad, but I think he's used to having that little extra hop, and he's been very effective out of the Cardinal pen in the 7th, 8th innings.
Mike Napoli has upped his average to 262, 22 points this afternoon, with a couple of singles and a 3-run home run. 3-run home run came back in the 4th inning.
That one just 99 miles an hour, that's all. It's one of the things that is not really done justice by a telecast, how fast 99 miles an hour is from 60 feet away. Anybody that's ever had a chance to stand in a box and see a 99 mile an hour fastball, well, frankly, you don't see it. Most people cannot literally see the ball, but on television it just looks like, oh, how can you not hit that ball? Well, you got to see it first.
A little like auto racing. If you're there, it's unbelievable.
Exactly.
If you watch it on television, it doesn't look so fast, does it?
That's exactly right.
Take a look from this angle. 2 balls and a strike. That's inside.
That gives you a bit better understanding of the short amount of time you have from when the ball leaves the hand of a pitcher to having to actually make a swing.
Jammed him and fouled it off. A couple of finals to report to you. Cleveland defeats Cincinnati 4-3. And the Red Sox beat Philadelphia 8-3 in Philadelphia. Those are our first finals of the afternoon. Another look. Payoff pitch. And fouled away.
Chad Blair does the video work for the Cardinals. We know he loves that angle right there.
What a hard-working fella he is. You don't hear much about Chad Blair, but he is involved in.
The players know who he is. He
charting every pitch,
the pitchers, the
all
coaches.
of the video, and
travels with the team, and he's very technical about knowing what pitch is coming and giving the teams a heads up on what to look for. And I don't even think if you're looking for that pitch, you can hit it.
Let's update your keys for the game, Rick.
Well, the first thing we were hoping for is for Chris Carpenter to go deep in the game and be sharp, and he was so. Don't play catch-up. That also a problem as the Cardinals got behind 4 runs early. They did chip away in the 4th with a 3-run 4th. And is Matt Holliday hot? 1 for 3 this afternoon. He did score the first Cardinal run. But the Cardinals have not done all of those things necessary to get on top of the Angels, but we're not done yet.
Here's Brandon Wood, who took over at third. Native of Austin, Texas. Grew up out in Scottsdale, Arizona. Came out of Horizon High School out there. This guy hit 160 home runs during his years in the minors. He's got a lot of power. a 7 for 61 skid, batting only 115 in his last 22 games. Strike on the corner. He logged 20 or more home runs for 5 consecutive seasons in the minors.
Doesn't look like a power hitter, does he?
No. Ludwig makes the play. They're down 1-2-3. We're going to the bottom of the 8th inning. LA leads 5-3. www.adcreations.com. Fernando Rodney from Santo Domingo, 33 years old. He finished up here yesterday. Pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit and struck out one. He's limiting opponents to 193 average so far in 2010. And has a streak of 27 consecutive saves at home. That's tops among active closers in Major League Baseball. Ludwig has struck out 3 times.
One of those things you don't want to run into, and that's a hot reliever, and that's what Rodney is. A couple of relievers have saves in this bullpen. Brian Fuentes has 6. Rodney has 5. We'll probably see Rodney here in the 8th and Fuentes in the 9th inning. Pretty good combination. Rodney, a former Tiger.
Down to third, where Wood is taken over, and he throws him out. Pujols this afternoon has walked and flied to center on 2 occasions.
Well, all you need is a bloop and a blast. Folks keeping score here at the ballpark. That went 5-3. Third baseman's a 5, first baseman's a 3. Something you and I do throughout the season, Jay, keep score.
Oh, yeah. And I did it as a kid. I learned how to score early on, going to the ballpark. And old Griffith Stadium used to be able to buy a scorecard for a dime.
I think they're more than a dime now.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Bloop and a blast, Jay. Bloop and a blast. That's all we need.
The scorecard that I use today is one that was used by the great Pirate broadcaster Bob Prince. There, of course, is a scorecard from the stands.
use the Bob Carpenter scorebook.
Yeah, Bob does well with those.
Pleasure of working together here at Cardinal Broadcast for a number of years, and a good friend of the Cardinals still.
Television voice of the Washington Nationals.
Grew up here in St. Louis. Always good to see him.
Oh, he's a fine man. 3 balls and no strikes.
How about a walk and a blast?
That would be fine. Albert walks for the second time this afternoon. Holiday has popped out, singled and scored and struck out. Fouled away. That walk a moment ago was the 839th of Albert's career. Puts him in 3rd place all-time walks in Cardinal history.
Tied with Enos Slaughter.
Old country. Fouled away.
In Albert's career numbers, we start mentioning them alongside some pretty good players now. You're talking about Hornsby and Slaughter, and you know it's usual. You're talking about the big guys now. Red Shane Deans, one of the greatest Cardinals, and the greatest of them all, Stan Musial.
Hope maybe Stan's watching this afternoon. If he is, best always to the man. Going to be turning 90 this fall.
Still my #1 moment of the 2010 season was seeing Stan Musial out here at the ballpark
opening day.
On opening day.
That's special. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Albert on the move. The ball gets by. Albert holds on out there. He thought for a moment about going to 3rd, but 2 ball, 2 strike count now on Holiday.
Well, they weren't very serious about holding Albert on first base, and he was able to get a big lead. Rodney really wasn't paying very much attention to him. And Albert's smart enough to take off on the pitch to try to stay out of the double play. But the Cardinals get more than that. They get him into scoring position for Matt Holliday. Holliday does have 18 RBIs, swinging the bat better lately. Let's see if he can pick up Albert.
Another foul. Just did get a piece of that one. 5 runs on 8 hits and 1 error for Los Angeles. 3 runs, 5 hits and 2 errors. Both of them charged in the same inning to Albert back in the 5th.
Pretty clear they're trying to get Holiday out up in the zone. A couple of pitches last at bat, now this at bat, trying to throw that fastball up to see if he can chase it. See if they go upstairs again.
Full count.
Got a good changeup. Rodney's got the high hard one and the changeup. And he's not afraid to throw it 3-2, and we might see it again here.
This big crowd getting into it here.
You bet they are.
Trying to cheer the Birds back. Into right field and foul.
That was probably ball 4, but too close to take for Matt Holliday. Probably a little bit down and away. But you've got to be a protector when the count is 3-2. And when you're an RBI guy, you want a guy like Matt Holliday swinging the bat with a runner in scoring position late in the game.
And here we go again. Ooh, he just got a piece of that one. Fernando Rodney. Matt Holliday. Albert at second. Holliday steps out. Now the catcher, Napoli, wants to talk to his hurler. Ernie Hayes at the organ, wowing him up here to the old Lone Ranger tune. Another foul. More pitches he sees, the better shot he's got, we hope. But Holliday with a good at bat here, trying to hang in against this very talented reliever, Fernando Rodney. Check swing foul. Rick, you're right. They're trying to keep it upstairs to him.
Yeah, that was probably another ball 4, but Holliday could not get his bat head out of the way of the strike zone as that ball hit off his bat. Check swing. So we'll do it again. A lot of anticipation here at the ballpark for this moment, this at bat, this opportunity for Matt Holliday.
Struck him out. And that is a huge strikeout for Rodney. Changeup got him.
Down in the zone, good late movement. Not a bad swing from Holliday, just comes up empty. Perfect location, down and away, out in front of it just a little bit. Very frustrating for Matt Holliday. Talk here about how to pitch Jacoby Rasmus. Rasmus has a chance of tying the score here. And the Angels not bringing in their closer to pitch an inning plus, Brian Fuentes. We haven't seen him in this series. This would be a good chance for Mike Scioscia to bring him in, but he's just going to use him in the 9th inning only. And so they may be careful with Rasmus. We'll see if this works for the Angels.
And it's low for ball 1. Colby has struck out, walked and scored, and flied to left.
10 strikeouts now on the afternoon for the Cardinals.
Foul outside of first. They just announced the crowd this afternoon, 42,417. This 3-game series has drawn 130,619. 3 sellouts. One and one to Rasmus. High, 2 balls and a strike.
Colby has the power to change this game with one swing of the bat. As ahead in the count, 2-1.
And his second triple of the season here on Friday night. Ooh, inside corner for a strike. 2-2.
Must have been looking for a changeup there because he was way late on that fastball. He didn't offer at it, but you could tell he was not geared up for it.
That's inside, and we go to another full count. if he'd go to the changeup again.
Well, he did it 3-2 on Holiday. Makes sense for him to do it 3-2 on Rasmus. Rasmus been looking for that changeup.
Fouled away. And it was the changeup.
The grip of Fernando Rodney spreads his fingers apart. Got a lot of late movement on it. Takes off about 10 miles an hour or so from his fastball, just enough to throw off the timing of the hitter.
The walk to Rasmus. The tying runs are on for David Freese. Doing a little positioning of the outfielders there as Freese is struck out, singled and scored, and singled in the 6th. Oh, he's 2 for 3 this afternoon. His average at .311. He's made some terrific defensive plays today as well. It's a strike on the corner.
Big opportunity for David Freese here. Tying run at first base for the Cardinals. A gapper might do it.
15 RBIs with 2 outs. Albert is running. Safe. Well, that was a close play. Rasmus goes over to second. And now the tying runs are at second and third. Let's look at it again. The ball was there, but like Albert got there before the tag.
Yeah, good throw, and he's out. But Albert, we know him as the
shot.
Yeah, we know him as the invisible runner too. Things just work out when Albert runs. He'd have been out by 5 feet.
He was there. The tag is not made in time. 1 ball and 1 strike to Freese. That's high. 2-1.
Albert with 2 stolen bases in this inning. Cardinals with 3. Rasmus going to second. He gets a steal as well. And now the Cardinals have the tying run in scoring position for a guy that's been very good with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, David Freese.
That caught the corner. The deuces are wild. 2 on, 2 out. 2-2 the count. The defensive alignment for Los Angeles,
giving him the gap in left center.
Fouled away.
And there's some scouting going on here because David Freese, we know watching the Cardinals that he hits the ball well the other way, and Torrey Hunter playing in right center field is taking that gap away from David Freese.
Plate. We've had 3 consecutive, or I should say 2 consecutive 3-2 counts, and this is the 2-2 count right now.
There's Torrey Hunter taking away that right center field gap.
Little number is foul. Freese hanging in here.
That's a good at bat here. Against a pretty tough pitcher. Doesn't have much of a breaking ball to speak of, Rodney, but he's got the great fastball and the great changeup. You can be a closer in this game if you've got 2 quality pitches. Starters have 3 or 4, but a reliever, if you've got 2 quality pitches, that's all you need.
David steps out. to the right side. We're going to have a play at the plate. In time, no. Down at second, safe. And Freese has tied it up here. David Freese with the shot to the right side. Pujols and Rasmus score.
A lot of credit to hand out here, but David Freese gets most of it as he goes the other way like he does so well. Drives in the tying runs. Albert Pujols steal of third, sets the table for this. Aggressive base running by Albert. Colby Rasmus gets a great jump off of second base. And this crowd here, you mentioned, Jay, 42,000 plus. They have been treated by exactly what they were hoping for, and that's a late Cardinal rally.
How about David Freese? 3 for 4 on the afternoon. Now with 28 RBIs. And now with 17 RBIs with runners in scoring position with 2 out.
Would the Angels have been better having Fuentes face Colby Rasmus?
Molina takes outside. The go-ahead run with Freese out there at second. We're in the 8th inning. These fans are abuzz here, aren't they? Two balls and no strikes.
And I know what's going through I think I know what's going through Tony La Russa's head. There's no telling what's in his head, but I know he's elated, but he's also switching his concern to how many innings the Cardinals have in their bullpen here this afternoon. So he wants Yachty to finish off Rodney here. And if not Yachty, then Felipe Lopez. And bring Franklin out there for the 9th and not have to worry about more innings than that.
It is a walk. Molina wasn't quite sure. The manager of the Los Angeles Angels, Mike Scioscia, coming out to the mound. We're going to have a pitching change. We'll take this timeout.
David Freese is the man of the day as he has been good offensively. 3 hits. He had one early on, another one in the 6th inning. He's already scored a run, but this is the biggest hit of all, a 2-run base hit the other way here in the 8th inning to tie the score. He's still out there at second, but he's also contributed with the glove. This play ends the 6th inning with a couple runners aboard, saves at least a run for his starting pitcher, Chris Carpenter, who is now off the hook. David Freese, outstanding afternoon.
And that was just one of 2 plays that he made out in the field that were outstanding. The new pitcher is Jason Bulger. Bulger, his 17th appearance. He's from Georgia. Attended Valdosta State. Originally drafted by Arizona in the first round back in 2001. Felipe Lopez at the dish. Ball 1.
Freese trying to get a big lead off of second base. If Lopez can get a base hit, he's going to want to test the arms, put the pressure on the Angels. Outfield pretty deep in right. Hunter normal depth in center.
Ball 2. Lopez took over for Ryan and struck out in the 7th inning.
David Freese has been picked off before this year. He was picked off at second base, and Ibar's kind of holding him closely there, but he's getting a huge lead after the pitcher goes home.
Ball 3. Nick Stavanoa is on deck. Here's the big man. On 4 pitches. Lopez walks. It's the 4th walk given up in this inning
and 8
by
straight
LA
balls.
pitching.
8 straight balls, Jay, to walk these 2 batters after the hit by Freese. So the Angels are a little unnerved right now. And I'd have to say, if I'm Nick Stavanoa, who's pinch hitting here with the bases loaded, if I were him, I would say I'd have to take a strike.
Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, goes out for a moment to talk to the infielders as well as Jason Bulger. The bases are loaded. The go-ahead run is down there at third. David Freese, Yadier Molina, and Lopez on the base paths for Stavanoa.
Hitting .316 in the pinch.
Off-speed pitch, and he went for it. That had to look like it was coming up there on a tray for him.
No taking that pitch for Nick Stavanoa.
No, you couldn't. Did he go? Yes. 0-2.
He's probably going to get another breaking ball here after those 2 pitches. He had to prove that he can hit it. Maybe he'll hang one.
No, he couldn't handle it. Cardinals strand 3. Stavanoa unable to handle those pitches from Bulger. We're tied 5-5.
Introducing Bud Light Lime.
Baseball on News Channel 5 is brought to you by Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime. And by Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at McMahon Ford. Quick, expert service while you wait. The legendary Ernie Hayes at the organ here at the stadium. And Ryan Franklin is on to do the pitching for the Cardinals. He nailed down his 10th save on Thursday, tying Dennis Eckersley for 5th all-time in St. Louis saves with 66. He has been superb. Franklin will face Reggie Willits.
And we've got ourselves a new ball game here, 5-5 through 8 innings. The Angels struck first in the game today, and the Cardinals have managed to chip away.
Willits, in his career, a .316 hitter in interleague play. Willits is from Oklahoma, went to the University of Oklahoma. Pops it up. Molina. One away.
Good start for Ryan Franklin. Franklin, a guy that just does not walk very many batters. Only has 1 walk on the whole season. And he's one of the atypical relievers that has multiple pitches. He's not just a 2-pitch guy. He's more of a 4-pitch guy that has just outstanding control, and I think is improved of late because he's using his fastball more.
Eric Ibar at the dish. Ball 1. He singled in the 1st. Fly to right in the 3rd. Reached on an error and scored in the 5th and struck out in the 6th. Los Angeles got on the board in the 1st with a home run by Morales to lead 1-0.
Couple of relievers getting loose for the Angels. Fuentes in case they're able to get a run, and Scott Shields, the right-hander.
The bunt, and it's a beauty. Ibar has terrific speed, and he got that ball just in the right place for an infield single.
I tell you, look at this bunt right here. Franklin, who falls off a little bit to the first base side. Ibar notices that and actually bunts it to Franklin's right at the shortstop, because David Freese is charging at third and he's still able to get a bunt hit. That's pretty impressive that he can bunt the ball directionally as well as he did.
Ibar has 6 stolen bases.
Great to have Yadier Molina as a weapon right now.
Yep. Here's Kendrick.
Yadi's a weapon, but so is Ryan Franklin. Ryan Franklin has a very quick move to first, guy that has very quick feet, and is also quick to the plate. So this combination is pretty good. Maybe Chris Carpenter and Molina is the only one that's better. Some clubs right now would be scared to death with Ibar at first base. I think the Cardinals would be fine if he takes off.
Into center field. Colby. One out away from getting out of this inning now. Abreu has grounded out, had a couple of singles, scored, has an RBI, and has struck out. In the 4th inning, both sides came up with 3 runs. LA got another run in the 5th. Cardinals countered with 2 in the 8th. We're 5-5, top of the 9th inning. Strike on the outside corner. Cincinnati has been defeated at Cleveland 4-3. A Redbird victory, and they're back into first place. Fouled away.
They're virtually tied right now with the Cincinnati Reds, who lost earlier. And Molina looked like he might have been thinking pickoff play there, if that would have been a swing and a miss with the hitter. Molina and Albert have that great instinct on that pickoff play at first base. That's another weapon you got to worry about if you're Alfredo Griffin talking to your base runner. Alfredo, the first base coach, former Dodger, Blue Jay, among others.
And a throw over.
I'm still shaking my head over what Albert did last inning. Stealing third base. Should have been out. Could have been out. But he has an incredible instinct to make things happen. And he's kind of like King Midas. Whatever he touches just works. Turns to gold. And it was a big part of that inning. David Free's hit was set up by Albert's aggressiveness.
No question. Here's the another throw over to first base.
Now, King Midas does have a couple of errors today, which led to one of the Angels' runs.
Just joining us, it's 5-5. Top of the ninth inning. That's fouled back and out of play. Pittsburgh defeats Atlanta 3-2. Milwaukee has defeated Minnesota in Minneapolis 4-3. Washington beat Baltimore in the nation's capital 4-3.
First baseman with a left-hander hitting has to have his attention on the pitcher, has to be alert, and then the minute he goes home has to direct his attention to the plate quickly.
Strikeout. Terrific job by Franklin. We're going to the bottom of the ninth inning in a 5-5 game. The Cardinals in Chicago going against the Cubs. The Window World Cardinals game day preview comes your way at 12:30. The Cardinals and the Cubs next Sunday on your home for Cardinal baseball, News Channel 5. Scott Shields, born in Fort Lauderdale. Over a 5-season span, this fellow in 425 innings pitched were the most by any reliever in the majors. Been a very durable performer. Shields on the mound is the 5th pitcher of the afternoon for the Angels. Schumacher at the plate. It's doubled in the 1st, flied out in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th and in the 7th.
He's been durable. He's also been good.
Yeah.
Shields out of the 10th.
And he gets Schumacher on the little grounder.
It'll be pretty exciting for the Cardinals to get a come from behind victory here this afternoon. They were trailing 5-3 going into that 8th inning when Freese had that RBI base hit the other way. Especially coming off some tough news for them to handle this week, with Brad Penny being injured, put on the disabled list. P.J. Walters came up to replace him, and then yesterday Kyle Loesch having a rough outing, and who knows whether or not he'll be healthy enough to make his next start. No one seems to know the answer to that, including him right now. So Cardinals would like to overcome those pieces of bad news with a good victory here today.
Well, and you have to overcome those things. You know, injuries are going to come your way. It happens to every team.
You're exactly right.
Ludwig has struck out 3 times and grounded out. See if Luddy has any success here. It's wide. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Luddy is the classic player that can be having a terrible day and then do something awesome at the end. We've seen him do that many, many times.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Shields with a herky-jerk emotion. And struck him out. So a tough day for Ludwig. 4 strikeouts and a ground out. 0 for 5. Here's Albert.
12 strikeouts now for Cardinal hitters.
High for ball 1. Shields had a lot of leg problems last year. Tendonitis in his left knee limited him. He has been around a long time. He's done some tremendous work. 1 ball and 1 strike. Right back it goes. And no problem for Los Angeles as we go to extra innings here at Busch Stadium. It's a 5-5 contest.
Ryan Franklin, who not really a stranger to going more than 1 inning as a Cardinal closer. This is not going to be a difficult thing for him to stay out there and pitch the 10th. He had a pretty quick 9th inning. He did give up a bunt hit But he's pretty well rested too, Jay, so I just don't see this as an issue for him.
He'll face Torrey Hunter, Kendry Morales, and Juan Rivera. Hunter is grounded out 3 times back in the 4th inning. When LA plated 3, he singled and scored. A little low.
If the Cardinals have to go a number of extra innings here, it may force their hand in terms of what they do with Kyle Loesch. If there's any question at all, you start getting troubles out in the bullpen in terms of having innings. Even though they do have an off day tomorrow, you go to San Diego on a road trip, you're going to need some pitching. So if you're not sure about Loesch making his start, you may be forced to make that decision earlier than later. And
we talked about Adam Ottavino, of course, possibly getting a call up. And, of course, the other item to mention is Hawksworth should be ready to go on Tuesday.
And that'll be a help.
1 ball and 1 strike.
Kyle Loesch, who was very dejected yesterday.
Into right. Here comes Ludwig. And he makes the play.
Evan McLean is a left-hander in AAA, also pitching pretty well. Lance Lynn has had some good outings. Probably not ready yet.
No, they asked at an affair I was at last evening about him, and the general manager indicated they probably weren't going to go to him at this point.
Tony likes the left-hander Evan McLean, or at least that's what the pitching coach in AAA has suggested as the possible call-up, but really not going to happen yet. I have to still wait and see what's going on with Loesch. But again, extra innings may force that decision.
Morales homered in the 2nd, flied to left in the 4th, intentionally walked in the 5th, and flied to right in the 7th. Out of play. LA getting home runs today from Morales and Napoli. Napoli, a 3-run shot in the 4th inning.
Been a new world for Carpenter, hasn't it? Given up home runs. He only gave up 7 all of 2009, the entire season. And he has given up the 2 today that are really the difference in this game and have kept him from being a winner for the 6th time, joining Adam Wainwright, who has 6 wins on the season.
Misses outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 5-9-1 for Los Angeles. 5-6-2 for the Cardinals. Both clubs have left 7 on.
Closer throwing again, Brian Fuentes for the Angels. Got a lot of work in already down that bullpen.
Yeah, he's been out there a while, hasn't he?
He's pitched 3 scoreless innings down there. Hadn't walked a batter.
Here's the 2-2. Yes, sir. Strikeout number 2 for Franklin. That was a dandy.
Now, this is a hot hitter, too, that he just sent back the other way by painting the outside corner. Matt Holliday will be leading off for the Cardinals, and he does have a home run in his career against Scott Shields. Wouldn't that be some way to end this game?
Here's Rivera. Rivera fly to left in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, grounded out in the 5th, and fly to center field in the 8th. He's 0 for 4 this afternoon. Slapped into right, foul.
That's 21 pitches for Franklin this afternoon, and he's only thrown 4 out of the strike zone. 17 out of 21. 80% Actually, 80.734% strikes. I just did that in my head.
And it confuses me that people still worry about him not being a traditional closer.
Absolutely.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
The name of the game is to get the job done.
You're right there, sir.
And that's what he has done more often than not. Cleveland Indians did that one year. They had a guy that saved 40 games, Doug Jones, and the new manager said, you know what, he shouldn't be the closer. He doesn't throw hard enough.
Did he go around? They asked for the appeal. No. 2-2.
And if you'd watch Doug Jones pitch, you would say, I don't know how he does it. He shouldn't be a closer, but he was very effective. So let him do it. There's a lot that goes on between the ears to be a closer. You know that you're 1 pitch away from being the GOAT every pitch you throw.
That's one of the things you love about Franklin, his demeanor. Got him. That's 3 strikeouts for Franklin. And we will go to the bottom of the 10th. Holiday, Rasmus, and Freeze. Game, bottom of the 10th inning. Shields out there on the hill, and Holiday leading it off.
Well, the great thing about playing an extra inning game at home is you're 1 pitch away from victory almost every single pitch, and that's where the Cardinals are now with Holiday at the plate. He does have that career home run against Scott Shields. And how excited would this crowd be, Jay, if he does it again?
That's high, and a good portion of the fans, Rick, have stayed on
still
here.
here.
I
You
mean,
bet they are.
Some have left, of course, but many of the faithful still on hand. An engaging ball game, to say the least.
Absolutely.
Ball 3. Now,
I let him swing.
That was my question.
I was reading your mind,
You
Jay.
read my mind, don't you? Well, let's see if he's a walk. That's the winning run. Now the infielders are going to get together. Ibar is the leader of this infield, the veteran shortstop. And he comes in on every discussion.
Well, we'll see if Colby Rasmus is called on to bunt here. Jose Oquendo has already given the signs from the third base coach's box, although I imagine that communication took place even before that as Colby was in the on-deck circle. Angels expecting the bunt at third. He really needs to get this bunt down the first base line if he can. Make the first baseman field it. Colby not showing bunt at all.
No. Wood pulled up on the grass a little bit at third. He's the third baseman.
Now Colby has not hit into a double play all year long. 0.
Strike on the outside corner, not bunting.
That's one of the things I'm sure Tony's thinking about with Rasmus is he's not prone to hit into a double play. You got the defense on their heels, let him swing, although I'd still like for him to take a shot right now. Just a bunt down the first base line, move that runner over for David Freese.
Ooh, nice play. Back in time. Matt Holliday.
Not really seen Colby bunt very well before. I don't know if he's done it a lot in his life. That would play into the decision.
Way outside. I talk a lot about how the game has changed, and bunting is a bit of a lost art, although I look down at the on-deck circle and see David Freese down there, and he's laid down a couple of superb bunts this season, but
we need Colby to do it for David Freese right now.
Exactly. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two and one.
The Angels are still taking it away, though. The third baseman, Wood, is in on the grass, and he's just believing every pitch that Rasmus is going to change his mind and bunt. And there is a signal from Jose Oquendo.
Colby could slap one down that third base side. It would be very nice, wouldn't it?
Hit and run would be a possibility here, but I just don't think that'd be a good idea.
There's a strike. It's 2 and 2.
Colby's been swinging and missing too often to do a hit and run here. You'd be hanging Holliday out to dry. Holliday does have 3 stolen bases in 4 attempts, but still curious why no bunt in this situation when all you need is 1 run.
And down he goes.
Rasmus allowed to swing away, and he swings right through a fastball, and that's his second strikeout of the afternoon and the 13th of the day for Cardinal hitters. Way too many, Jake.
Yes, sir. Freese is 3 for 4. Scored a run and picked up 2 RBIs. The average up to 315. Oh, he hit him on the shoulder.
Well, the Cardinals do get their runner into scoring position. I'm still puzzled about Rasmus not bunting. I'm sure Tony La Russa has his reasons. But they finally do get the runner into scoring position. That's Matt Holliday. And Yadier Molina has a chance to be a hero.
And he was, of course, a hero for the Cardinals back in that 4th inning. Big single. The Cardinals plating 3 in the 4th inning after going down 4-0. Got them back in the ball game. Holliday at second. Rasmus at first. Low for a ball.
Cardinals bench has just Jason LaRue and Joe Mather. Shallow outfield. They've got to play at a depth where they can throw the runner out at home plate.
Ooh, that almost hit him.
Almost hit him again. Now, we remember Matt Holliday with a mad dash to home plate to win a World Series for the Colorado Rockies.
That's low. 3-0. The bases are loaded.
Looks like Mike Scioscia is going to do a double switch right here. And it looks like he's seen enough of Scott Shields.
Well, a pitching change coming up. The 5-5 game. Back with more in a moment. He is 23 years old. Remember this?
Yeah, last time the Pirates won with a walk-off walk, it was Mike Matheny, April 30th, 2004. And you know what? You think you can't celebrate with a walk? How about this?
How about that celebration after drawing a base on balls?
Even a walk could be exciting if Felipe Lopez is able to manage one against the new right-hander Trevor Bell. And we've seen him in this series.
Lopez walked his last time in the 8th inning after striking out in the 7th. He took over, of course, for Brendan Ryan. And we now also have a new left fielder in the lineup, Michael Ryan. They're playing without a center fielder right here, Rick.
All right.
Look at
1,
this.
2, 3, 4. I count 5 infielders right here, and I count nobody in center field.
Just Ryan and Abreu out there in the outfield.
This is what you do in the backyard game when you're playing home run derby. Make up your own defense, but this is what Mike Scioscia thinks might induce a double play. Very interesting.
Fouled away. Holliday, the winning run. 10th inning, 5-5.
Not only are there 5 guys on the infield, but they're still giving him the third base line. They're way off the line. The third baseman's got at least, he's past the cutoff. You think you could bunch those guys a little differently since you've got 5 of them on the infield.
Lopez at the plate. That's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's kind of fun here, Jay, watching this defense.
Here's a long one, and the Cardinals are going to win it. Grand slam. No, did it hit the wall? It's not a grand slam, but the Cardinals are going to win it 6-5. Well, that was a shot. Nobody out there in no man's land. And a big celebration for the fans who have remained here this afternoon as the Cardinals get the victory and finish this homestand with 5 wins against 2 losses and take over first place in the Central Division. Player of the game, David Freese. What an afternoon he had, both with the bat and in the field.
Oh, he was spectacular today, and Lopez is the hero, but David Freese was awesome all day long.
Cardinals win 10 innings, 6-5.